The George Inlet Cannery, they call it now. It used to be the Libby, McNeil, and Libby Cannery. Now we call it the George Inlet. What we do here is we do tours for people. We do up 5 or 6 tours a day, and we take them through the whole place, and we talk about our historical canning line. This is pretty much the highlight of our show, is this line here. Basically, they started in the 1890s back then. They made cans by hand back then. They actually cut the sheets out for tin snares before it all got automated, and they'd actually pack them by hand. They didn't have any of this equipment until around 1905. This place opened in 1915 and remained operational until 1958, and there was huge demand for protein back then. During World War I, they shipped the salmon overseas, and during World War II, this place actually closed down for a few years because they didn't lack of manpower. The reason this stuff survived was because somebody bought this machinery. Generally, they'd rent this machinery out, but this is very unique. It's the only machinery to survive back then. Everything else had been melted down for scrap iron. They'd have a couple people per machine. They'd have a machinist walking the line constantly, a couple engineers, because the machine goes down. They got to get it back online. Because all these machines, they were synced up. So you got one machine doing one thing, it has to be ready for the next machine for the cans to come in. This whole area out here, there was just 200 people that used to live out here at the cannery. This was a self-contained community. They had doctors, nurses, carpenters, everything out here you needed, you could get. Well, back when this place was running, fish traps were legal then. Fish traps were built out in the sea where the fish are running. The fish would go in, the traps would fill up, and they send a boat out to brail the fish out of the traps. Then the boats would deliver them here. Then they'd be offloaded off the boat. They'd go up that big fish elevator behind you, which is like an escalator for fish. And that's how they'd get here. Of course, these days we end up with a nice fresh can of Alaskan Air. If you folks want to take several cans home as a souvenir, please help yourself. When you get home and you need some fresh air to remind you of your trip to Alaska, just pop open the can. You got it right here.